Yeah.
You, yeah,
So it's going a little bit now into little steps that can be taken to help yourself.
yeah. But
And I was, mhm.
no, I was gonna going to add to what you said before, yeah, and that they're making money from going back to the basics and
Yeah,
and also making money from keeping us addicted. Yeah. Because I don't know if this is true, but I read somewhere that the people who make electronics, smartphones, tablets, etc., they don't allow their children to use that stuff until a certain age because it's so addictive. And it changes your brain chemistry. So imagine being addicted to something as a kid. And like I said, there are kids being born into addiction.
that's true.
You know, they don't know
Yeah,
about the basics because they're born into likes and selfies and stuff. Yeah. So people are making money from everything, from going back to the basics, like you said. Just to talk has a price on it. You know, just a stretch has a price on it.
yeah.
And
Just to stretch.
just a
Yeah, it's
stretch.
true. Yeah,
And the reason is society is built to keep you addicted and in one position to make money.
yeah.
So everything is about markets, right? It's not about the human being anymore. It's
Mhm,
about markets. It's a, we have a this we need this, we have this market to get this amount of money to people. Oh, this has opened up this market now because people aren't getting enough healthy foods because they don't have time to cook. So let's open this market where we create healthy fast food. Or this market. See what I'm saying? Like, so society is not really primed for people who get addicted. That's when you see a lot of homeless people, you know? It's like you're addicted. Oh, you know, toss it to the side. Get a job. As if it's that easy. It's not that easy. People need help.
100%. And but then touching on helping yourself to just like your brain registered that that first drink or that first smoke made you feel calm.
Yeah.
You need to start getting used to saying maybe taking a little walk refreshes me, maybe laying down refreshes me. So it's almost as if you need to create a healthier pathway, because if a lot of people are born in addiction and we're in an environment when everything is on addiction, then what can be done to help ourselves? You need to start creating things, isn't it?
And changing your environment as much as you can, because one of the hardest things with addiction is if you're addicted to alcohol and your flat is above a pub and you can't afford anything else but this flat because it's in your budget, you're going to struggle. No matter how many walks you take in the park, you're going to struggle because to get to your flat, you have to walk through the pub. That's your environment. Yeah. And you're still struggling. So then your brain is like, well, damn, I'm struggling, but the solution is right downstairs. This is easy. You know,
Yeah.
it's quicker to get there than get to the park. You know,
100%.
so
All you have to do is open the fridge.
open the fridge, go downstairs. So
Alcohol in there. Yeah.
yeah. So it's not easy. There's so many things that have to be done and restructured, right? But I guess in a way, society is built is easy to toss people aside because we live in a society that they're using people. We are. Let's be real. We are batteries. We are cogs. We are objects. Yeah, and we are used for specific purposes. And it's easier to throw away batteries if they're not working properly than to try to get them, try to help them. Which is why I said in certain parts of the world, it's all about, you're an object, and if you're not working properly, we toss it to the side. It's your fault. Your fault. You shouldn't have gotten addicted. You should have been strong enough to deal with all this. You should have been strong enough to deal with the overstimulation, the stress, and everything. And then there are other parts of the world that take this stuff seriously because they see people as human beings. Yeah, they go like, oh, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna restructure work days, pay, childcare, your environment. If you have an addiction, we're going to help you through that because those people are human beings to them.
100%.
So it's hard in some places, and other places make it easier for
Agree.
people to be happy. Like Finland. Finland is the happiest country on the planet. Do you know why? you know, because society is built towards people's happiness, um, work-life balance. You know, just the environment is a place of happiness. But in certain other places, like where we are, where everything is about the rat race and everything moving quickly is stress and everybody's unhappy. And instead of looking at everything around them, the first thing we do is scapegoat everything else. Instead of looking internally, we scapegoat immigrants. Instead of looking at our environment, we scapegoat um, multiculturalism or something else besides what is the actual problem. You know, so it's just, I guess, it's hard in some societies, harder than in other societies,
Yeah.
because of the environment. But it doesn't mean that because it's hard that it's not a person's responsibility to try their best.
Exactly. Like the solution, isn't it? Because
Yeah,
we like even with the solution, because it's good that we touch on it as well on what can be done to help ourselves. And and this is a message to anyone who is listening, really. Let's say you're addicted to pornography, you're addicted to smoking, whatever the addiction is. If you're doing your best to stop, and this is where we have to get into perspective, because sometimes when people are recovering from being addicted to something, it's a long journey. We have to accept that. It's not going to take 6 months,
roller coaster.
roller coaster. And sometimes coming on off an addiction, you will have a relapse. So let's say someone who watches pornography, let's say 4, 5 times a week, yeah, says, I'm going to try my best to stop. And in the week, did one less, he should think, okay, this is good. See if he could do one less for a while. But then if he does go back to doing four again, he should be careful not to let the guilt override him, because what happens is when you go back to the guilt, you jump right back into the problem again.
Exactly.
Because sometimes when you feel guilty and shame, what do? Go to something to make you feel high or calm.
It's a vicious, nasty cycle.
Nice to say. So it's weird, isn't it? Because sometimes when you're trying to help someone who's less addicted to pornography and they call you and say, oh, listen, I've done it again, it might sound really harsh, but some of the words they need to hear is, it might sound simple, not harsh. It might sound really basic, but it's like, it happened. Try again next week.
Yeah,
Because if you are going to go into this thinking, I'm never, and you need to start off by not using the word, I'm never going to touch this again.
yeah.
Because if you start off with such a high expectation and you relapse, sometimes you go deeper into the problem.
The crash is even harder.
It's harder.
Yeah.
Because you feel disgusted with yourself. And
Exactly.
this is the thing about people who are addicted to things. It's not like they all like it. It's not like, oh, I love doing what I'm doing.
They don't.
They genuinely want to stop. It's just that the feeling that they're addictive, whatever they're addicted to, is giving them is addictive because there's some sort of pleasure and numbness to it.
It's not only that, there's more to it. Like, we keep forgetting that every aspect of how we operate in life is controlled by different parts of our brains. Our
Yeah.
brain isn't just one unified thing that, so there be one part of your brain that tells you, I don't want this and I don't like this. Yeah. Doesn't matter, because there's another part of your brain that's been programmed for years to cope with stress and other things through an addiction. Like I said, it could be coffee, it could be running, exercise, drugs, pornography, anything. Yeah. And that part of your brain is going to fight the other part of your brain, and it's going to be like, no, we need to survive. He feels down. I call it the primitive part of your brain. It's as simple as, this person is stressed. We need to fix the stress.
Yeah.
Let's look at our programming. Oh, the programming says alcohol does it. Let's go to alcohol. But the next part of your brain is going, I don't want to do that. I'm sick of it. I'm tired. And that's what people need to understand,
Mhm.
you know. And you made a brilliant point about not putting the kind of pressure on yourself that it has to be done ASAP, or don't let anybody around you pressure you and tell you you need to stop right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's impossible.
100%.
And
I
don't let
think, mhm,
sorry, don't let people make you feel like if you do slip, because like you said, it's not going to just stop like that. It's a roller coaster.
100%.
You might have 3 great weeks of no smoking, yeah, and then something stressful in life will trigger that part of your brain, and then you're struggling, and then you might smoke once, and but that once compared to before is much better because in the past you'd have smoked 10 cigarettes, but now you're just smoking one. What you don't want is to be around anyone that makes you feel bad for smoking the one after you've come from smoking 10, because
Exactly.
you could never please that person
No.
ever.
Yeah.
So you need to do it for you, you know. You need
And
to,
yeah.
yeah, you need to allow the roller coaster to go in the direction it needs to go. You need to fight, slip, fight, improve. It's like stock markets. You need to do this, and you need to be allowed to do this. Yeah. But if you're in an environment where they expect you to do this and say, oh, it's okay to drop, and then when you do drop, they shake their heads and make you feel like the most worthless person on the planet, all you're
100%.
gonna do, all you're gonna do is you're gonna take your addiction and hide it because you don't
Yeah.
want to feel worthless. You don't want
Anymore.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You already feel bad.
You already feel bad.
Why do you need someone else to come say to you, ask
Yeah.
you to say you don't feel bad enough? In fact, you feel so bad, you're addicted to stuff.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, Adrian, isn't it, that it needs to be someone who has seen the journey, or even if they haven't seen the journey, understand how someone progresses to become better at,
Yes.
you know. But what are some healthy things that people could go to? Because you said people can be addicted to exercise. What are the healthy ways of coping with addiction?
The healthy way is you just mentioned exercise. That's one, but the way for it to be healthy is to do it in moderation,
Mm.
not do it in excess. The whole point is trying to control as hard as it is.
Mm.
And to the people who are watching, yeah, we know how hard it is. Yeah, it's about control. So even if you let's say you exercise, exercising is a brilliant one, but you got to do it in some form of moderation. Also, get outside, you know, get into nature, take walks, like you said. Do things that are beneficial, that bring you joy and pleasure,
Yeah.
and not things that people tell you will bring you joy and pleasure.
Yeah.
Because somebody could tell you, oh, if you want to feel better, you should exercise, and they might not be wrong for them, yeah,
But for
but
you,
for you that might bring you more stress.
which means you could have to ask yourself, what do I enjoy doing apart from this thing I'm addicted to? Do you
Exactly,
like listening to music? Do I
exactly,
like, some people like to read books. Some people feel calm when they read books,
yeah,
It takes them to a different universe and they like
exactly,
it for their imagination, isn't it?
yeah,
So it has to be catered and personal to them because
yeah,
you can't say, go out there and get some fresh air. It doesn't work
yeah.
for everyone.
Doesn't work
It's
for
not
everyone.
like what do you enjoy doing in
Yeah,
general, apart from,
yeah,
and then help them do more of what they enjoy because a lot of people enjoy a number of things. It's not just one thing, is it?
exactly.
A bit of
I,
reading, music. Yeah, sorry, go on.
no, exactly. And what was it another point? Is not is not it is not just that. Right, I found it.
Yeah,
Not only those things, what is also healthy and what helps is to not be hard on yourself. That's the first key. Stop being hard on yourself. Yeah. Accept, accept that there's a possibility that you can overcome and get better, but also accept that this is a journey and a battle and you will slip.
100%.
Accept it. accept that there will be people that are judgmental, but accept that not everybody knows, you know, the right way to go about things.
100%. You know what? Yeah, go on.
No, while you're accepting these things, then from that point onwards, work towards finding other things to fill those voids. Yeah. And sometimes it is not as easy as going for a walk or doing the things that you like because your brain, again, it's programming. You're trying to reprogram your brain, which is hard because your brain is going to fight you. And that's another thing that people don't realize is that your brain fights you. You're battling, literally battling your brain. So even
Inner
when you're,
self, yeah.
huh?
Yeah. Your
Yes.
inner self, innit?
Yeah. So when you're trying to do other things, yeah, your brain's going, it's been a week. I haven't had a cigarette. What are you doing? What is this reading foolishness? Get you a cigarette right now. Yeah. You're fighting that. And of course, you will buckle. Yeah. But it's all about reprogramming and it's all about accepting the slips because the problem when it comes to addiction is that people think that they have to change and be perfect going forward. I have to keep doing this thing that I like perfectly without slipping to succeed. And then when they slip, they go, oh man, I failed. You know what I mean? And then what happens? You just made that part of your brain stronger that depends on the addiction.
100%.
Slip, just slip. I'm not saying.
What's funny? Yeah, go on.
So
yeah, go on. Clarify your statement.
I'm not saying, oh, it's okay to be addicted again. I'm saying if you slip, lay on the ground, go, oh man, I slipped. That was to be expected. Get back up, dust off. Let's get back to reading. Yeah. Eventually, bit by bit, as you change things and things change around you, things get better without pressure as well.
Exactly. It doesn't get perfect, it gets better.
It gets
now,
better.
Here's the interesting thing. Because people become addicted to things, they now get lost in accepting what is real.
Yeah.
Sometimes, which is people don't know how to deal with disappointments.
Exactly.
So what happens is instead of saying, damn, I've just had a bad week and then this is what happened and say, wow, that happened. It's like, I had a bad week. I need to, I can't take it. The moment you start saying to yourself, I can't take it, then your brain needs to find what could help you take it.
Yep.
And you could go back to square one again.
Yep.
So it's okay. You have to have a healthy view of disappointments and how things go on in life. Because if you are recovering from addiction and you had a really, really tough week and you found yourself smoking again or watching porn again, then you will have to say to yourself, man, I know what I did. It's not right. I have slipped up again. It's very disappointing, but I don't want to stay here too long. I need to get back up again.
Yeah.
And that is another thing, isn't it? Because now, this is interesting because it's the opposite of how you deal with things when you were as an addict. Because as an addict, it's like, I'm disappointed. I can't cope with it. Let me go to this thing.
Yeah.
As now that you're trying to change, it's like, I'm disappointed. I acknowledge that. I accept this has happened.
Yeah.
But I'm going to try again.
And it does not make me a bad person. It doesn't make me worthless. I am still worth something. Yeah. I am still valuable. I am a human being.
Yeah.
And as a human being, I will conquer this and I will get better.
100%.
But if you're in the realm of self-hatred and lacking self-worth and also so worried and stressed about what other people think and the people that you're worried about do make you feel worthless, you're gonna struggle.
It's true. The funny thing is that you need to give yourself some love too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yet again, the very thing that's missing.
Yeah.
It's what you need to give yourself to. Because if you find that you are not loved, there's no lot of love in your life, you need to start creating that and be a lot more reasonable with yourself.
Yeah.
Because it starts off with being reasonable. If you're harsh on yourself, boy, the crash is heavy.
And it's just so much harder to break out because psychologically guilt feeds addiction.
100%.
And
I thought,
people don't seem to realize or understand that the worst thing for addiction is guilt.
yeah,
Because it just makes complete sense. Addiction has to do with the chemicals in your brain.
100%.
I've mentioned this a million times. It almost sounds cliche. Yeah, it has to do with the high amount of cortisol in your mind and trying to regulate that. Yeah. And you know what makes you cortisol is a stress hormone. You know what makes you stressed? Guilt. So when you're guilty, feeling guilty, like, oh my God, I can't believe I did this, and oh man, I'm so weak and this and that. Guess what? Chemicals shoots through the roof. Cortisol. Guess what the brain does? Sends a signal. Cortisol shot up. The programming says, okay, we need to sort this ASAP for survival. What is it that we have programmed in the databases to counter this? Addiction.
Let's go for it.
Let's go for it. Now, if somebody tells, huh?
Go on, Adrian.
No, if somebody tells you,
podcast.
sorry, who's gonna say? Yeah. I'm rambling. Who's gonna say?
No. I wanted to say, I almost lost my point again, but it will come back to me. Let me close my eyes.
Close your eyes.
Yeah. So basically, you see the way we're talking about communicating with people, maybe it helps. You need to communicate with yourself. Why did this happen? What can I do different next time?
How did I feel? What was I feeling? How did I feel?
Was it because I was too tired? Is it because I've had a long week? Is it because I've had a certain phone call from someone?
Yes.
Oh, who need to? And then because it's basically you are decluttering. Yeah.
Yes.
Getting better with addiction is decluttering as well. It's like, oh, I need to take this out. Oh, I didn't know that this added to it.
Yeah.
Let me take that out.
Yeah.
Remember, when you're sorting out your house and it doesn't take 5 minutes, it's just like, oh, that needs to go.
Yeah.
Oh, when you're doing a sprinkling, you find stuff, it's like, oh.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with getting better with addiction.
Exactly.
See, certain things in our lives, even your life, you thinking, oh, I can't have this no more because this has been adding this kind of stress in my life for years.
Yeah.
Like, that needs to go. So when I see it again, we throw that away. Well done, that's better. Then you keep looking. Oh, that needs to go. That needs to go.
Yeah.
So for instance, someone who is addicted to pornography might say, you know what needs to go? From 7 p.m. onwards, I'm not going to be on my phone. I'll be on my phone all day as long as I want.
Yeah.
But that needs to go. I just want to, little steps. And sometimes it doesn't have to be huge.
Yeah.
It's the little steps. It's like, I'm just going to turn my phone off for an hour.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when we're on it, because this is how sometimes it could lead you to watching porn, you're not really looking for anything.
Yeah.
After a while, your brain says, oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And even to that point you just made, if you do decide to switch your phone off for an hour, or you decide to not go to the kitchen to get a drink, or you decide to put the pack aside, as cigarettes, right? Even if you made that decision and you still gave in, don't just say, oh, I'm weak. Go, why did I give in? Because you realize that some days you can do it easily.
Yeah.
And some days it seems impossible.
100%.
So the days that it seems impossible, sit back and go, what was different? Oh, you know what? This day, something triggered me. Something triggered me. Maybe it triggered a childhood trauma. It triggered me and I didn't realize, and my brain, you know what I mean? Or I had a very tough day today. It was so stressful. And because your brain is looking to fight the stress, it goes to the thing that it knows. Yeah. So question yourself. Go, okay, well, this happened. What do I do to counter that? Because a lot of things, we operate on the subconscious a lot. That's another thing that people don't realize, right? So when you slip, it's almost subconscious. Yeah. It almost feels that you're not controlling the vehicle.
100%. It's just part of you.
Yeah. So you got to go, okay, when this thing happens and control is taken, what can I do to regain control? Because there are certain things in life that push me towards addiction. That even though I'm fighting, these things are still in my environment. these things still affect me. So I need to counter them in the beginning.
Yeah.
Right. And for me, for all those people out there, right, who say, oh, well, you should be able to just do it in a week or cold turkey or whatever. I'm going to use the analogy of exercise. Yeah. Because it seems that if we can understand things from the physical, we would then understand it from the mental. Because we don't seem to understand
the unseen.
The unseen.
Yeah.
We don't seem to understand things from a mental or emotional perspective at all.
No.
But we understand it from a physical one.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use a physical analogy. Yeah. If you have someone who's overweight, right? Their brain's programming is you get up, you have a massive breakfast, you snack all day, you have a massive lunch of pizza, whatever. Your brain's been programmed like that from childhood. Yeah. So you're overweight. That's what your brain knows. We are a product of what our brains know. Our mannerisms, how we talk. Yeah. You could try to put a British accent on as much as you want, but your brain's programmed to speak with a Ghanaian or Barbadian accent, or vice versa. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So you're obese. Your brain's programmed a certain way. Can you become fit? Yes, you can. But it is extremely hard. So if somebody tells you you need to get fit now, yeah, and the person goes, okay, let me do something about getting fit. The moment they get up and go walking, that's not as pleasurable as eating a slice of pizza. That sucks. Yeah. They're like, this sucks. This hurts. I'm out of breath. This brings no pleasure to me. Yeah. The brain goes, what the hell is this? Go and get some pizza. This is stressful. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That person has to be consistent and allow themselves to get that pizza. So it's like the brain going, I want to get this pizza, but then you're still training it to go, yeah, you might want to go and get this pizza, but we're still going to go for these walks. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then as time goes with having these walks or going to the gym, the brain will get used to it. It will take a good while for the brain to get used to this thing and push away from that thing that made you obese.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even like lifting weights and stuff, like as an obese person, your body and brain that's foreign. It's going to try to protect you against that thing that it thinks is a threat because it's been programmed to believe that this is what comforts you and this is what sustains you mentally and emotionally, but it doesn't. We know that. Mm. So when people say, oh, you should be stronger than that, or you're weak, or you're whatever, it's foolishness, because it takes a good while to get to a point. If you are conditioned to one point, you can get there, but it's going to be a hard, rocky, uncomfortable road where your brain is going to fight you tooth and nail until the brain goes, oh snap, I actually feel better, because your brain has to go through your brain and body has to go through a turbulent mode before it reaches that, oh, calm. Oh, walking makes me feel good. I breathe better. 100%. I sleep better.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
And then it snowballs the other direction.
100%.
Also,
sorry.
Sorry. One other quick thing with this analogy. Yeah. It also takes, sometimes for people in that mode, it takes another massive bit of trauma to really push them to that direction. So I watch these clips where like people that were obese will go in the gym and just smash it out and lose weight, and like they will go to the opposite end of the spectrum and just be in the gym 24/7. But you listen to them and it's like, my husband left me because I was too big, or I almost died because, you see what I'm saying? And something jolting just pushes them towards that, So it's never as simple as, hey, you obese person, go to the gym. A month later, dude, you only lost like 1 pound? What's this? You're weak. You know what I mean? It's no credit to the person. It doesn't help. And that's not how the human body, brain, mental works. But we will accept that physically. We will go, yeah, that's true. So why don't we accept it mentally and emotionally too?
Exactly. That it takes time. It takes time. It's a process.
It's a process.
I've noticed sometimes to overcome things, there's so many different ways to overcome things. Sometimes it could just happen quicker than expected.
Yeah.
Sometimes it might take longer. Now, isn't it funny? Because it's like you have to go through that shaky bit to go through the calm. And I like that illustration you used there,
Yeah,
because even overturning the way I used to think about things in the past, it took ages.
yeah,
It took a few experiences. I'm like, just like even learning how to price jobs probably, it took a few situations to realize I've been taken for a ride to say, no, 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 that's it. So even getting better at it, once in a while, I still make that mistake of going lower. But in general, guess what?
yeah.
I'm much better.
And that was your addiction to being a people pleaser. But you never thought of it from that angle, did you?
Never.
That is an addiction in itself. You have to people please. Hence, you were taken for a ride. And then it took time to break the addiction of being a people pleaser.
100%.
And even that's an addiction.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. But it was this was a good discussion. I think this was a very deep one that I hope helps people, and to people out there who are struggling,
Yep.
that feel worthless or feel like, oh, every time I fall, I'm bad or I'm weak. No, you're strong because you're fighting every day. It's a war.
100%.
You're in a war.
Yeah.
And just keep fighting. Keep fighting, keep battling. You are going to get injuries. You're going to get shot. But stay alive, patch it up, keep fighting, keep pushing forward,
Exactly.
and you will succeed.
Yeah. It's the getting stuck. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, you are worth something.
100%. And it's the getting stuck that can get you stuck there.
Yeah.
But keep moving even when you fall. Keep going.
Keep going. Don't let anybody make you feel bad for your war, your fight. Block out the people that hold you back, even though they think they're trying to help you, but they're actually holding you back. And keep pushing forward. And always tell yourself, I know that I'm fighting, and I know that I'm worthy, and I know that I will succeed.
Yes, you can. And you know what? Sorry, man, there's so many positive messages. Sorry. One more.
Go on.
You need to keep going because you truly know how well you are doing, even if it means doing something bad. That's bad for you, or being addicted to something.
Yeah.
If you're able to do a day without it, that is a fantastic achievement.
Yeah.
And you should be happy with that, because when you celebrate those things, it sends positive things like, oh, a day without it. We're not going to discuss the other 3 days that you did, but you've done a day less, and that's good.
Yes, exactly. And also, you can't do it by yourself. Mm-hmm. Get help. If you can, get help. Therapy, get help. Have good people around you who understand. And when I say get help that doesn't exploit you or make you feel worse. Get help that elevates you and makes you feel more worthwhile and pushes you towards the person that you are striving to be and desperately want to be.
Yeah. And sometimes if you can't afford therapy, see if you could find someone who truly listens to you and try and talk to them more.
Exactly.
And, once in a while check in and say, listen, I just wanted to say I'm struggling, and then they will encourage you.
Exactly. Don't be scared. If you give these things power, they will take power of you. But if you talk about it as if it has no power, like, yo, I'm struggling with this and I'm struggling with it today or whatever, talk about it. Remove the power from it. Remove the power, and it doesn't have much power over you, and you will improve. But do not try to remove that power around people who will make you feel as if you cannot open your mouth, and because you'll be going backwards.
Yeah.
But yes.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our channel.
There will be more of these. We will cover a lot more topics. If y'all have any kind of suggestions on things that you want covered, put it in the comments.
And then
and we will have a discussion, because this is a discussion between us and everybody else who's going through these things or seeing the word. It's just not us. It's all of us.
100%.
So
we're going to touch a lot of subjects, even how Adrian became bald. So
Stress.
it's endless. It's endless.
This is my stressful journey.
Addiction.
Exactly, stress and addiction. The fight made me lose my hair.
Yeah. So AD,
yeah.
Wrap up. Thank you. Boom.
No problem. Next time.